Why AI is the virtual assistant you didn't even know you needed.
Let's dive in today on the Wandering But Not Lost podcast.
Welcome to Wandering But Not Lost, your online source for finding balance so that you can align, connect, and prosper. And now your hosts, Jen O'Brien and Matt Emerson.
Well, welcome everyone to the WBNL Wandering But Not Lost podcast, where we align, connect, and prosper. This is episode 334, and you can find all of those show notes over at WBNLpodcast.com. Jen O'Brien, we're going to talk a little bit more about our friend AI.
Yes, last week we discussed why you need an assistant when you know you need an assistant, some key things about how to do it. Of course, we have a whole real estate team builder course where we have a whole module on how to hire the right assistant. But today we want to focus on just using AI, in particular ChatGPT, which is what Matt and I use. Honestly, AI is now fully online and everything, right? I mean, it's in my CRM, it's in Canva. There's no getting away from it. There's a version of it with Microsoft. I use Google Drive all the time, Matt. I don't know if you've got Gemini always trying to jump in and going, would you like us to enhance that thing you're putting in the drive, right? So there's no escaping it. So what we want to start out with is basically real estate professionals, entrepreneurs, small business owners. You have access to an assistant who could work for you 24/7, never takes a day off, instantly can help you with marketing, lead generation, and all your business strategies and systems. And it's AI. It's your favorite version of it. ChatGPT being the one that seems to be prevalent, but there's Claude, there's Gemini, there's all these other things that are out there, right? So if you've been avoiding this or you've been having, I don't really know how to do it, well, we're going to help you with that today, specifically real estate professionals, because we've put together a really comprehensive guide. We're calling it the AI-powered Real Estate Success Toolkit, where we're going to share with you the actual prompts, everything that you need to do. I'm going to demonstrate that at the end of this podcast, so hang in there. We're going to cover a couple things. So we're going to show you the prompts to help you with a 30-day social media content, just everything you need to do to get your AI to really work with you as a true assistant, almost like how to train your AI like you would an assistant, a real live assistant. Oh, and did I mention the cost? Well, basically, if you're going to be a power user in ChatGPT, you probably need to spend the $20 a month. I would recommend it. We'll point out a few things because I'm going to demonstrate live today, live recorded on our podcast, actual prompt sequence and how I use it to generate my scripts, okay? For today, I'm going to show you how to do long form video scripts. So hang tight. Matt's going to show you how you can get that later. We're very excited to be able to handle just all levels of your business, actually giving you the prompts. This is the thing, Matt, when we were first getting into this year plus ago, I didn't really understand the power of how much you really have to work with your AI, get it to know who you are and what your goals are and all those things so that it can really be a reflection of an assistant that is your perfect assistant, if you will. But it's all about the prompt structure. And it's amazing how far I've come. I mean, can you just add to that? Because you weren't into it as much as I was, but you are more into it now and have better conversations with your AI than I think I do even.
It is funny because when you front load it really well with information that you're wanting it to, populate, and it gets to know what your background is and what what your ethos is, it's great. I find actually now I have to do less prompting than I did before. Do you agree with that, Jim? Because
100%. Well, because you basically have set up in a chat all the criteria and the prompt structure. And then, so for example, I'll give you a perfect example of what you're saying. So Cosmo and I do a series on rules about buying a new home. Well, I did all the setup in the beginning. I went back and forth and kind of trained it how I wanted the actual scripts to be for these minute or less videos. So now, after doing that, I keep it all in the same chat. Now I go in and I'll go, I just did it this morning. I already recorded the video. Today's rule is on tankless water heaters. That's all I have to say. Here comes the perfect script. I don't have to say, give me the benefits, this, that, or the other. Right. Occasionally I'll say, please add this to it because I want something in there. And it gives me the perfect script. I record it, boom, post.
It's a game changer.
And honestly, when the other way I do is I've gone in for my podcast, for the real estate kind of podcast, the business podcast. I've set it up also, and I'll say, look, this is what I want to do on the podcast. Let's brainstorm some ideas. I'll go back and forth. We work together. And that's what's different. I'm not just going in and saying, here, chat, go give me what I need. It's like, let's brainstorm. It's all about being trust us when we tell you. Don't give it all these demands. Treat it like it is got a little consciousness, if you will. Please and thank you and all of that. And you'll just find, I don't know, call me crazy, but I don't know, it's working at a higher level than I've ever had when I first started.
You know what I think is so cool? Go ahead.
Go ahead, Matt.
I was saying, you know what I think is so cool about that process is the way that it delivers information back. And it kind of did this from the very start. But when you ask for something, it would give options for you. And then always, every single time, you want me to tweak that? You want to go a different direction? It's like, that's why this is so, to me, that has been so freeing and kind of change the whole brain setup. You know, I'm actually thinking more with using chat, which is it's an interesting thing because which is a good thing because you want to be able to use your brain more. You don't want it to be dormant and fall asleep, right? So it's been a fascinating process.
I mean, it just really is. And I think this is what it is for me. Complete collaboration. Mm-hmm. Because what I find, the more I work with my AI, that I get more creative and get more ideas, and it's co-creating together. Hey, help me come up with a list of podcast ideas for this week. Then, comes back and goes, just like anything, does anything resonate with you or tweet? I like this, but how about we add this? And that process that might have taken me hours before to put my notes together for a podcast can happen in minutes, but because it's really in tune with what all the topics are and what we're about and what our mission, because we put so much into our, respectively, Matt and I, it comes back spot on with where I want to go with it. Yeah. And so we're going to show you some of that today, but let's just talk about what are some of the broad, I want you to think, like I just did a short video yesterday here's a great way to come up with a list of things that you could have an assistant do, and I think AI could do the majority of it for you. So the video that I did, was basically, here's a quick way to come up with your delegation list. What are tasks that you hate to do? What are tasks that you know you shouldn't be doing? And then what are tasks that you're doing that are not generating any income for you? Like they're not specifically revenue producing. So I think that one of those is tweaked a little bit, but things you hate to do, things that you're doing that you really shouldn't be doing, somebody else could be doing it for you. And you can come up with that list. Well, generally it's going to be a lot of automation, repetitive tasks, everything from writing your listing descriptions and your marketing and your property marketing content. It's great for that. You obviously social media, from everything around social media, from the ideas to the post. I don't care what platform you're on. If you're just looking for ideas for carousels and reels and videos and short and long form videos, all the SEO and hashtags and descriptions can be done in seconds for that. Email campaigns, client communications, scripts for any of your prospects, transaction management, scheduling. There's always advancements coming out with AI that help you be able to do things that it couldn't do a year ago. Brainstorming partner for sure. That the collaboration and co-creation is just incredibly powerful. Helping you with your business plan, helping you with all of your finances and just everything. Analyzing market data, generating reports, right? So we're going to demonstrate a couple of those examples for you today and show you how you can grab this download. It's only going to be $11, folks. $11, probably worth $99, but we're going to sell it for $11 because there's just a lot of gold in there for you that'll help you with everything you need to do in your real estate business. And if you're not in real estate, it still can help you because you can adjust the basics of how to teach chat to know who you are and what you're trying to do, and then how to be very, very structured. The whole point about why we put this together is you don't need to go through the learning curve. We went through the year learning curve of figuring out how to do it better by working with it. So this is the quick start guide to getting up and running and right away. So what are the biggest mistakes I think entrepreneurs and agents make with the whole AI thing is, number one, waiting too long to go ahead and jump in and learning it. The best time to start was yesterday.
Yeah, that's right.
The next best time is right now. Okay. Overcomplicating it completely, what everyone is doing that's not already on board with this. And it's just like anything else. In my 30-something years of experience, people don't use their CRM because they're like, oh, it's too complicated. I don't have time to learn it. And it's the same thing that's happening with AI. Mm-hmm. You don't have to be a tech genius. You start small. You can just start integrating, pick 5 or 6 things that are on this guide, for example, to help you with, for example, listing descriptions or crafting an email. I use it every month for my newsletter. Come up with great, and that all those newsletter prompts that I put in my newsletter are going to be in this guide for you, because I believe in a hyper-local newsletter where I include my chat gives me things to do in Las Vegas for the month of March.
Right.
It's so awesome cool. With links and everything else. I used to take me hours to do my newsletter. I can get the bones of my newsletter together now in about 5 minutes.
And actually, it's probably, no offense, more valuable.
Yeah, it totally is.
Well, because there's more information, right?
Yeah. Another mistake people make when they first get going with this is, we just sort of touched on it, not customizing the AI output, meaning AI should assist you, but your voice and expertise still matters. And that's what I mean. In the beginning, I was putting in generic prompts and going, well, this is not anything more than what I could go search online for. It just happens faster. Then I realized the key is what we have in this guide for you is, you've got to work with it, and you've got to really sit down, almost like you've got a partner in your business, and you're sharing all your dreams and goals, what your vision is, who your niche is, and you can even get it to help you figure that out if you're not clear. I mean, completely help you figure out your vision, mission, and your goals and all of that, and fine tune it and put a strategic plan together, as an example. So it's completely a partner that's there to support you. And maybe the last big mistake is simply ignoring your AI for lead gen and nurturing. This is so powerful. And honestly, if you're using one of the key CRMs that are out there, like right now I'm using Chime, which is called Lofty, it already has the AI in there. It's so funny. Every time I log into my CRM, it's like, hey, you haven't talked to this person in a while. Would you like me to draft a text? Okay.
Isn't that awesome?
That is your assistant working for you.
It's awesome.
And I would venture to say, Matt, most people are going, yeah, I don't know how to do that. But so then you're not doing it. And that's the whole point. You could leverage AI to do the nurturing and make those texts sound like they're not coming from the CRM, but they're coming from your voice. Okay. And this is all part of what you have to sort of set up when you're using like ChatGPT, for example, because you tell it, how do you want how do you like to talk? How do you want responses to be? What tone of voice and so forth?
Yeah.
Right. Totally. And I think it actually starts to learn based on the way you work with it. Don't you agree, Matt? Because Absolutely. You and I have talked, and the way you're prompting and interacting with it, you're getting responses that are suited to you. Because Matt and I have tested it. We'll put a similar thing in for stuff we're doing for WBNL coaching. I get one version, Matt gets another version, and then what we find is if we merge the two versions, we get the best of both, right?
It's pretty cool.
So in other words, it's not exactly the same output, right? Because of what we've done to kind of customize it, right?
Yep.
So let's go in. So here's our AI-powered real estate success toolkit, and we've got a ton of prompting examples. So there's some generic stuff in here that we'll just talk to you about how this guide's going to help you. It talks to you about how to go set up an account if you haven't done that. How you're going to be able to use it. Obviously, I just kind of touched on it. All right, and this is where the most important part starts. I'm going to be doing a longer form video on this where I really go in and help. That we'll put up on YouTube that really talks about doing your settings and so forth. But one of the very first things you need to do is train ChatGPT to know who you are. So we've given you a prompt that basically, and you can take this prompt. The beautiful thing about taking somebody else's prompt is you don't have to write the prompt. We've got it so you can add into it, or you can take it and make it better. But it basically is, you're a real estate agent in a certain city specializing in, my brand voice is, I serve clients who, describe your perfect clients, what are your goals for working with AI, and how do you want your responses to be? That's generally a structure to use, and you can make it, you got to start with this, okay? And really, and I honestly think that you need to go in deeper and really basically tell your background story for your business your chat. All right. And then you'll have that in there. And now I'm going to walk you through our step-by-step guide of a 30-day social media content strategy. Now, the beautiful part about these prompts is you can change it to the type of social media you want to do. So in this example, I'm going to be asking for some video scripts and some posts that I can put on Instagram. Okay. So same thing. It's like you've hopefully already done this. And if you haven't, I'm a real estate agent, right? And here's the prompt: generate a list of 100 plus content ideas covering a mix of, now we've put ideas in here. This is where you can put your categories, the things you want to talk about on social media for your area. And if you don't know what to do, you could start with these. Now, what we've done in the guide is to show you, we went ahead and put this prompt in, okay? There's another piece of this prompt right here.
Yeah.
That is part of the prompt. Ensure that the content ideas are flexible enough to be adapted to Instagram posts, TikTok and Reels, YouTube videos, blog posts, and emails, newsletters. That's what I wanted. I wanted to start with this big, huge container of ideas. Everybody with me? Great. Now, look, check it out. We got 100 ideas in categories, okay, based on those categories that we put in. Amazing. All right. Now, I just wanted to get some ideas. Now, what happens when you get these ideas is what always happens to me. I get more ideas. It gets me to think about more ideas. And so you can get this to where you want it. We've included the ideas for you. Be interesting to see what happens when you put the prompt in and you see what you get. Now, here's step 2. We want to be able to generate a 30-day social media plan with our AI. Here's the prompt. Generate a structured 30-day content calendar that includes one daily Instagram and Facebook post, describe the format, static post, carousel, and infographic, like I wanted all that. You would put in there, sorry, you put what you want. If I go back in, I'll want a static, carousel, and an infographic, actually, a mixture. One short video per day, provide the video topic and a suggested hook. I'm asking chat to do that. Ensure the content plan is balanced and engaging, alternating between educational, engaging, promotional, personal branding. Format the response as a day-by-day calendar with post type, caption ideas, and video hooks. So you see how specific that prompt is? Because if you didn't do all that, you would just get some random information. You're basically saying, I need it to be these things. I want to mix it up. I want it to actually do these things, and I want you to put it into a format that I could now go do the next step. And this is the format we got when we did this. Put it into a table, and it just gave us an example of the first 5 days. Here's an IG static post. Here's the caption. Here's a short video and a hook for the video. Brilliant, okay? Now here's the next step. In the next step, you're going to create your actual posts and your video scripts so that you can record them. Based on this 30-day content calendar, generate the full content for each day and then including all this. All right? Then boom, here comes everything you need. I always take everything out of the chat and I go put it in Drive. I've had some things happen where things get a little glitchy and so on. So I will pull all this out and everything goes into a Drive. Then you can create your system where today, and I can go in and this is the actual caption. You can even ask it for ideas of what, I didn't do it here, but you could go back in. I don't do a lot of static posts on Instagram, but I wanted to use this in our guide because I think a lot of people do. But you could go in and get chat to tell you what are the examples of images that I could get. What kind of images do you recommend that I do for this post on thinking of buying a home? Because you've got to go get images. You either take pictures or you go grab them from places that are that's not licensed material and so forth. But you basically get that. You get here's the hook for the video, the body for the steps for the video, and this would be like a 30-second video. And then here's exactly the content that I need to put on YouTube. And what I like about when I do my videos, I always ask my AI to give me the optimized YouTube title, description, and hashtags, and I post those on TikTok, Reels, and YouTube. And it's great because YouTube needs it a certain way. But this is how powerful this is. And then the rest of this guide for the social media aspect gives you ideas of how to make this work, how to automate it, how to batch, how to schedule, all these things that you need to do. And then other ways you can tweak the content, other useful prompts that are going to help you. And then we go on and on and on. And it's going to be able to, we give you a ton more ways to do it in the rest of the guide, from listing descriptions to email and text follow-ups, all the prompts that you need to use to help you create newsletters, create blog, website, so you don't have to think about what we have to put in there.
Yeah, okay? It goes on for about 18 pages.
Exactly. And
it's awesome stuff. I can't believe how much that was freaking 4 steps, Jan O'Brien, to go through that. And you and I went through a lot of that yesterday when we were kind of prepping for the show. And those 4 steps, it took a little while. Actually, what was funny was how long it took for the AI to actually come up with that list of 100, because you could tell it was really analyzing. Matter of fact, it was saying analyzing. And it took, usually when you type something in, it comes up in seconds. Well, no, it was doing some searching. It was doing some modification, you could tell, behind the scenes. And then it came up with that 100 list. It was fun to watch.
Well, how can folks get our little $11 guide?
Well, let's talk about that. Go over to wbnlcoaching.com and go to our up in the main menu, which I believe is the second or third. No, I think it's the second button up there is downloads. Go to our download page. That page has been up there forever. You can see all of our free courses. We have a lot of free downloads up there as well. We also have a new category of downloads that have tiny little price tags on them, like $11. So wbnlcoaching.com, download page, and then right there, click on that, and you can sign up to receive your download. And when you actually sign in and make your payment, you have instant access to the download. You will download it to your computer right now. It's done in a PDF format, so you'll be able to copy and paste from there and put it right into your chat, and it'll be handy dandy little guide for you. And hey, it's 18 pages now. We're going to do a couple more tweaks before this launches with the podcast.
Yeah, because every time I look at it, I have other ideas, and then we're going to just give you a plethora of prompts that are going to get you excited about jumping in with AI. And even if the 20-something pages seems overwhelming, just pick an area. Like, let's say you're doing a newsletter. Just start using it with your newsletter, and you'll start to see how much this can help you. But remember, don't blindly jump into a AI of any kind without doing that prep work of getting it to understand who you are. So if you don't, you'll get very generic content, generic output. All right? All right, folks. Well, we're going to be doing more on this. We're going to be doing a lot of AI tutorials and additional content and so forth, because it's not the future, it's the now, it's the yesterday. And it's time to get on board. So stay tuned.
Tomorrow is here today.
Hello tomorrow.
Hello. Hashtag hello tomorrow. Thank you very much. If you want more information on this episode, it was episode 334. You can find that over at wbnlpodcast.com. Coming up later on this week, in episode 335, we're doing a little segment on we're also having a download on that one, giving you a guide on how to get back on track. Because so often, you got your goals, you got your plan, but sometimes you kind of don't quite hit your goals or your plan. And we're going to show you that when that happens, it's not that hard to get back on track again. So that's coming up later on this week. And until next week, I guess we just go out there and use our AI, teach it a little more about ourselves, and you delegate to our assistant, and then which will help us all align, connect, and prosper.